Let's get a divorce.
What? Why?
I'm taking over my lover's company, so I don't need you anymore.
My husband, Mark, said this with a look of triumph on his face. From my point of view, I was rather grateful that he started saying about the divorce and confessing about his lover by himself. Okay, I don't really care. Here's the divorce paper. My husband looked at me as he widened his eyes while I handed him the divorce papers I had taken out of the drawer. My name is Lily Smith, and I am a 30-year-old office worker. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 3 years now. We met at a blind date, which was set up by our mutual friend. My husband approached me aggressively, and I was attracted to him, so that's why we began to go out and go on dates. We went out on dates frequently, and 1 year later, since we began going out, Mark proposed to me and we got married. Mark was always kind and was a gentleman to me, and I thought I would have a very happy life if I married him. In fact, our married life was quite enjoyable, but there were some things that were different from what I expected after we got married. And that was that my husband does not do any housework or chores at all.
I was always eating out at restaurants or eating pre-made meals from shops.
Like that, my husband has rarely cooked any meal by himself, even when he was on his own. He also said that his mother came over to where he lived sometimes, to even do the cleaning for him. So, I always came home from work and did all the housework and chores. Sometimes I casually appealed to my husband to help me out on some chores, but he stubbornly refused to help. But he never complains when I work late and that he had to have late dinner because of that. So I guess I should be thankful for that. Other than not doing any housework, he's basically normal and we talk a lot and enjoy each other's companies. I think my physical workload is a bit much having to do all the housework, but I'm getting by these days because I buy prepared foods and cut back on some house chores moderately when I can. So like that, even though I wasn't fully happy, I was still enjoying our married life in my own way. Before I knew it, I had been married to my husband for 3 years. I had hoped that this relationship would change again once we had a child, but we were not able to have a child as we had hoped. Thinking that perhaps one of us might be the cause, I suggested to my husband that we try some tests and do infertility treatment. But to that, my husband's reaction was surprising.
We don't have to have kids, right?
Pardon me? I was completely surprised to what he had said. I had thought that people usually wanted to have kids. But it is true that there may be families who want to spend time alone with their spouses without having any kids. Maybe my husband was thinking the same like that. Just in case, may I ask why?
Well, what can I say? There are a lot of trouble and...
Huh? To be honest, I was disillusioned by this statement from my own husband. It was not because he had a good reason for it, but because it was a random and a very vague reason. But, at the same time, I felt that if someone with such a half-hearted feeling, like my husband, had a child in that kind of condition, the child would be very unhappy. I see. Okay, I get it. Then, I understand. We won't try for making any kids. When I said that, my husband looked really relieved. I was very disappointed that he did not want any kids that badly. Not only did he not want any kids, but I was doing all the work around the house. Moreover, I can't say out loud so as not to provoke my husband's pride, but my salary is considerably higher than his. So, it is no exaggeration to say that I am the main breadwinner of this house. Furthermore, we have been talking less and less lately than we used to before. My husband has stopped communicating with me more recently. He is on his phone all the time, and on his days off, he often says,
I'm going out for drinks with my friends.
And goes out after lunch and comes home late sometimes. On most of the weekends, I am alone at home, and even if we have dinner together at night, he is very silent and isn't talkative, and because of that, I don't feel that the meal tastes that good. If this situation continues, I might as well end the marriage with him. I was having such a hard time in my marriage with my husband that I was even thinking about divorce. And it was at such a point in time that I came to learn about something very surprising. On one Saturday night, my husband was out drinking with his friends as usual. In the midst of all this, I received a text message from one of my best friend, Anna. I was surprised to get a message from her out of the blue because she said that she and her husband were going to a luxurious restaurant for a dinner today for their wedding anniversary. But what she had messaged me was even more surprising. "Hey, Lily, your husband Mark just walked into the restaurant with a woman I've never seen before." I froze when I saw Anna's message. No way. Is my husband having an affair with another woman? It's at a fancy restaurant, and he's never even taken me there or been there with me. According to Anna and her observation, it didn't seem like a work or friends atmosphere, but clearly exuded the feeling of lovers. I was getting angrier and angrier at my husband. And then, it all made sense. The hassle of having children. The fact that he frequently went out for drinks with his friends on the weekends. And the fact that he was so concerned about his phone. If I thought about it, all of these behaviors certainly make it likely that he was having an affair. Why didn't I suspect it earlier? But I still don't really know if he really is having an affair with another woman or not. So, I immediately requested an investigator to look into the case. I didn't officially obtain any solid evidence of his affair yet. Until I saw the evidence that clearly and visibly showed that Mark was having an affair, I decided to hold out just a little bit of hope. But reality is cruel. A few weeks later, I received the results of the investigation, and all I could see was that it definitely showed my husband having an affair with another woman. I was indeed surprised and shocked. Although we had been having many differences and miscommunications recently, I still loved my husband and wanted to believe in him. However, my husband had acted in a way that violated my feelings. I can't believe it. How could he have an affair with another woman so easily? Moreover, it seems that my husband often goes to various fancy restaurants with his lover. Is he really spending that much money to devote all on his lover? And when I began to think that, I had finally realized something. It was something my husband had been asking me to do for about 6 months. My husband had asked me to put a little more money into the house because he wanted to send money to his parents. Since I was earning more than my husband, he asked me to support him a little bit. It's not like I didn't dislike my in-laws, and my own parents had already passed away and I had no relatives who I can send money to, so I just agreed to his idea. I am sure that my husband used that money to devote for his own lover. Thinking that, I became even more disillusioned with my husband. I wondered how far he would go to use me for his own convenience. I was also angry at myself for not realizing about this earlier, that my husband has been deceiving me all this time. So, I decided to start making various preparations so that I could divorce my husband at any time. First of all, I had to prepare to move out. I no longer wanted to live in this house because it would remind me of my husband. So, I decided to look for a new place to live. I was busy with work, so it was not easy to find a new house in between my busy work schedule. But still, I visited a real estate agency at the same time my husband was meeting with his friends or his lover, as usual, and looked for a good room suitable for living alone. It was a month later that I was able to decide on a new place to live. Now I had a place to move to. All that remained was to take revenge on my husband. I hired a lawyer and prepared for it. Then one day, my husband called me into the living room and said he wanted to talk to me. Wow, it's pretty rare for you to call out for me to have a talk. My husband looked annoyed when I said that.
It won't take that long.
I did as I was told and sat down on the sofa, waiting for my husband's next words. Then, my husband grinned and began to say this.
Let's get a divorce.
I did not expect for my husband to begin the talk and initiate about divorce. I was genuinely surprised. I wondered what kind of process he was going to use to try to get a divorce with me. So I asked him, pretending to not know about the truth. What? Why? Then my husband responds something very surprising.
I'm taking over my lover's company.
Excuse me?
So, I don't need you anymore. Thanks for supporting me this whole time. Not only do you earn a lot of money, but you took very good care of the house for me. You were great as a housekeeper, who also earned a lot for me. But I won't be needing that anymore. Now, I will have a beautiful young wife and a promising future as a CEO. I am truly a winner in life. I'm sorry for what I did to you, but don't hold any grudges against me.
My husband says this with a victorious look on his face. From my point of view, I was rather grateful that he started saying about the divorce and confessing about his lover by himself. Okay, I don't really care. Here's the divorce paper. When I handed him the divorce papers I had taken out of the drawer, he had a very surprised look and his eyes widened.
What the hell? Aren't you surprised by the whole situation? And when did you even prepare the divorce papers?
Well, your attitude towards me lately has been cold, you know. That's why I thought we were getting a divorce. And it would be more convenient for you if we got divorced early.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
My husband was surprised, but he realized it was a win-win situation for him and started to grin.
I didn't think that you were that understanding, but thanks for that then. Thanks for everything until now. Well, enjoy your single life at best.
My husband seemed to be enjoying himself while he said that. I pretended that I was not angry at him and spoke to my husband frankly. Have you already talked to your lover's father?
Oh, no, not yet. But she told me that it's decided that the man she chooses will be the one to take over as the CEO. So, since I'm going to marry her, it's a done deal that I'm going to be the CEO, you know.
I see. Well, I wish you all the best.
Oh, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
My husband looks like he's getting carried away. And he doesn't even know the hell he's going to experience after this. I silently watched my husband, an idiot, pack up his belongings and leave to go to his lover. I struggled to hold back my laughter until he left the house. I then sold the house shortly after my husband had left and completed my move as well. The next step was to officially begin my revenge against my husband. What I would do, however, was very simple. All I had to do was send a content-certified letter to my husband's workplace and to his lover's parents' house. With this, my revenge against my husband was complete. All that remained was for my husband to just ruin himself all on his own. Sure enough, 2 or 3 days after I sent the content-certified mail, I received a phone call from my husband. Hello?
Hey, what the hell did you do? Why the hell did you send a content-certified letter to my workplace and her parents' house?
Huh? Well, why wouldn't I send them? You had an affair behind my back, you know. An affair. Normally, you would file a claim for alimony against the husband and his mistress, and then proceed with the divorce, right?
What? I thought you forgave me and my lover.
Are you stupid? Where in the world would anybody simply forgive the people who betrayed the marriage and step aside as if nothing happened?
No way. But how did he know where her parents lived?
Even before you confessed, I had hired a professional investigator to investigate your affair and obtained information about your lover. So, I knew that she was the daughter of the president of a company, and I knew her family home.
How can this be?
So, what happened when I sent a content-certified letter to her parents' house? I asked, with a huge grin on my face. Then, my husband got angry as if he remembered and said this.
Well, yes, because of you, I'm in a lot of trouble. Because she didn't know that I was married. That's why I secretly broke up with you and divorced you and tried to be with her. But since you sent a content-certified letter to her parents' house, that means that her parents found out about the affair, and now I'm in a tight spot. She's furious that she was cheated on, and her father has filed a complaint to the CEO of my company where I work at. And I have been fired as someone who has caused a big problem within the company. Her father's company was an important business partner of ours.
Aw, too bad.
This is all your fault. You better take responsibility for this.
Huh? What the hell are you saying? You were the one who betrayed me and had an affair behind my back, right? I only made a legitimate request. I'll make sure you pay my alimony.
No way. There's no way I can pay for your alimony after I got fired from my job.
Well, I couldn't care less about that. Get a job right now and pay me back every little bit you can.
You've got to be kidding me. I'll go to your place right now and force you to live with me.
You know where I live?
Huh? What the hell are you saying? You're living at our house that we bought together, right?
Our house? You only see things in your own convenient way, don't you? I bought that house in my name, so I already sold it.
Oh no, no way. Then where am I supposed to go now that I've been kicked out of her house?
I don't know. You're a grown man, so do something about it on your own. Okay, well, I'm gonna hang up then.
Hey, wait, don't hang up.
I hung up the phone and blocked the call, not caring about my husband's panicked voice. Just as I wanted, my husband lost everything and I was so relieved. After that, I officially filed a claim for alimony through my lawyer. I heard that my husband was living in a cheap apartment while working at a part-time job, and he's now desperately trying to pay the alimony. He also tried to ask his own parents for help, but since I had told them about me giving money to him to send for his parents, they were so furious and said that they would cut off ties with their own son. Therefore, my husband seems to be living a lonely and poor life alone, having been abandoned by his own parents. Meanwhile, I am living comfortably in my new place and working hard at my job. I have recently been promoted, and my salary has gone up even more, so I am thinking of taking up a new hobby and live a nice, luxurious life. Mark is such a cowardly husband, trying to get a divorce in secret and aiming for a better marriage. But then, wouldn't it be better for him if he didn't say anything about taking over his lover's company? I guess that kind of thing is what makes a scumbag husband after all. I am glad that Lily was able to get revenge on her scumbag husband. I hope you will be able to marry a wonderful man this time. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.